Have you thought one day that you will be a famous photographer? I do, and yes, I love to take picture. Or have you holding a DSLR camera or mirrorless camera? Did you? Mirrorless camera is slightly different between DSLR camera. Mirrorless camera is more lighter and smaller, but it still have the same function as DSLR. It is depend on person, which one he or she would like to use. I have one, the old modern one, but it's still 100% function, Canon 550D. I still use it for my customer wedding, birthday party, pre-convocation, and I'm also taking picture for my own collection. And at the end of this video, I would like to show you my several of my own collection that the picture that I have taken before. In order to use the camera, we need to understand the use of several buttons on the camera and how to keep the camera safe. I am not an expert about this, and I am still learning about this. How I'm learning, I become a member of photography club, and I also joining several talk session with famous photographer, and also following them doing their job at their customer wedding. That's how I learn about the several things of the camera and the features. The camera has a lot of buttons, so we need to know each of the function of the button. Understanding your camera and being able to adjust it to get the look you want is the first step in capturing great visual. There's no preset automatic setting, and a little bit of extra features vary from camera to camera, but this fundamental hold the key to having supreme executive power over your device. So there are some basic main steps to get a great visual from your camera. I'm not telling you all of the function of each of the button camera, but I will tell you several basic functions, just like ISO thing, the white balance, and there are actually basic thing that we need to take a look before we use a camera. It also important to have a great picture. So let's take a look about a little bit about DSLR camera. So I open the camera cap. So if we look, there is a mirror in the body. So it is not a mirrorless, it is this as DSLR camera. If a mirrorless, it will not have any of the mirror. Mirrorless camera is actually same like mobile phone, the camera from mobile phone. So how the image can we view from the camera? The image that fall into the mirror, and then the mirror will reflect the pictures into the viewfinder. This is what we call the viewfinder. And if we doesn't want to look at the viewfinder, we can look it at the screen. So at the side of the camera, this is a part where we put the memory card, the SD card. At the bottom is where we put the battery, the camera battery. And some of professional photographer or official photographer, they will attach extra battery here. So sometimes their camera look bigger than their size. And next, this is where we attach the flash at the upper of the camera. So that's all. So now I would like to tell you some of the basic function that actually we should know to get a better image if we take a picture. First, it is ISO. We call it ISO. This is the ISO button. It is a camera sensor sensitivity to light, or we can say as how much light that can enter the camera while we using it. So next is shutter speed. let me open this camera first. The shutter speed actually is how this one, it is the amount of time that your camera exposing light on each frame. Okay, that is what we call shutter speed. So the third is aperture. Aperture is this one, the one, I'm not sure whether you can see or not, but I will attach the pictures later. It is the size of lens opening. Yes, actually the camera body can control the size of lens opening based on aperture, which is it open widely or not. Lastly, the what we call white balance, this WB. It is how your camera register light and give your image a color temperature, whether it is too high or too low. So it is controlled by the white balance. So later on I will tell you how exactly each of the button, each of the features that I told you just now, how it's actually function when we take pictures.